Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Welcome to another episode of the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry podcast. This is pretty cool, right?
Welcome. We're so excited.
Yeah, we're so excited. I'm Guy with Jewelry Store Marketers. And we're in Atlanta, and Lisa Dillon here finally, because I missed you in RJR. Every podcast, I'm like, we miss you, Lisa.
I missed y'all too, but I had a vacation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're here, so it's awesome. And we're here with Adam Ivy.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Unified Laser. Okay, perfect. So, I think I get an idea of what you guys do.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us what you do?
No, so I'm the president of Unified Laser. We sell laser engraving systems for a multitude of different industries, such as jewelry, which is one of our favorite. Firearm and tactical, medical, and then entrepreneurs at heart that want to start a business and become profitable relatively quickly.
Yeah. What does somebody need to know about laser engravers? That's what you have?
Yeah. So we sell laser engraving systems. Yeah. The one thing I think a lot of people think is like, oh, they're super expensive, or you're going to need a ton of customers already in order to be able to make it worth the investment. Yeah. But it's quite the opposite. When people understand that you have a laser engraver and you start showing what you're capable of, not only do we live in such a digital rich environment now with the online space of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, where only a couple applications with a cheap smartphone video can go viral, but now everybody from trophy shops to homemade jewelers with Etsy stores and brick and mortar stores, they can really take advantage of all the things that they didn't even think about based on the market's demands and requests. We have so many customers in the field that will get the laser engraving systems for XYZ, and then next time you talk to them 6 months later, they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this now, and now we're doing custom guns, and it's limitless, really.
Are you finding a lot of jewelers that don't have a laser engraver?
Oh yeah, there's still a ton of people that are doing it kind of the traditional way. With either hand engraving, or they have the signature. Exactly. So, and those work. They have a certain charm to them that's not as robotic sometimes as if you're doing a ton of like name necklaces, for example. If you have somebody that wants to do the tedious work, but then it's how much time are you trading for the money? Right. So and the investment there, if you're spending 10 hours on something that could take the laser 30 minutes. Right. You really have to look at it that way.
What would you rather do?
Nice. So what is the benefit of the laser engraver for people that have been doing engraving but not with a laser?
Sure. So we look at our systems kind of like employees that you don't need to pay benefits or 401k to. So it's like you tell it what you want to do.
Man, I need some of those.
I think the great thing about the laser engraving system is that it's a workhorse. You don't need to change any parts on it, really. Right. There's no consumables, there's no water, there's no filters. Nice. So you set up the artwork, which is completely subjective. Some people like modern artwork, some people like more freestyle hand drawings. And the great thing is you bring it into our software and it's so intuitive. You can take a photo that you found online, you can take a logo that you found on a Google search, pull it in. Now, if you're listening to this and you don't have rights to those logos, I'm not giving you permission to do this.
Exactly.
But if you find something, you bring it in. Once you understand the settings, which are very intuitive, you'll get the hang of it. Just like anything, just like working out, just like dieting, it's that mind muscle. Okay, I get it now. And then you go right after it. And so very, very quickly, you can test parts, you can get everything running in bulk. So for example, if you have class rings, if you have dog tags that you want to do for a Lions Club or Elks Lodge or something like that, you can run through them very quickly as opposed to trying to do them by hand, trying to stamp, trying to do diamond drag. You're not going to get exactly the same result on every one of them. Now, don't get me wrong. It adds a little character, but when precision is what you're looking for, the laser is really the way to go about it.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, one of my clients in Virginia does laser engraving. I don't know what system they use.
Sure.
But they were talking about how big the gun engraving was for them.
Definitely.
And like, there's no one in the area. Not to mention, they were fully. They have all the licenses, the FFL, and separate,
absolutely.
All that stuff, which is super important. And they were like, it's huge for us. And Is there a lot of people talking about doing this? And
for sure,
I've seen their product done before on guns, and it's just it's hot now. Is it kind of trendy?
Yeah,
I don't want to say the word, but it's amazing details.
I have a client that says I don't like trendy. We say on trend.
On trend.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's very
you gotta
like
say
hipster.
with a pinky up.
Yeah,
It's
on trend. I feel like fancy now. Just
I think I'm now politically correct. It's PC to say on trend.
we gotta write that in the memory log.
Yeah.
I think that the firearm space and tactical is so is so huge now because if you're a gun guy, if you're a tactical guy, you like knives, even into like the fishing realm and airsoft. Everybody wants a custom piece. That is mine, right? Just like back in the day when you have a duffel bag and with a Sharpie marker you write your name on it, your last name, whatever. Or you have a car and you have bumper stickers. It's the same premise. So the firearms industry, tactical, everything from knives and these RFID wallets, the metal wallets, everything from custom belt buckles for rodeos. You name it, the laser engraver can do it. So I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, fiber lasers really are specifically for alloys and some polymers. They could do other materials as well, but if you're looking for wood and glass and rubber and things like that, then you'd probably want to look for a CO2 solution. But these things are awesome, and we've had a lot of jewelry clients that are now doing guns and knives and everything under even samurai swords and crazy stuff like that. If it's metal,
what's the
you can mark
craziest
it.
things? I was like, can you engrave this?
We custom engraved spurs for boots. Yeah, which was kind of cool.
Oh.
What else? Just a ton of knives. We laser engraved a instrument cluster for a helicopter, which was kind of random.
Oh, nice.
That was pretty cool. Just like crazy random stuff. There was a client that came in that wanted a bunch of custom logos on teeth whitening kits. The little plastic, and we're like, I'm not sure we could. We tried it, and sure enough, we could find a setting.
Wow.
And now they bring us X amount a month, and we're not even really a job shop, but we'll offer those services to people that just need a few things done here and there rather than investing.
Yeah. What so for those jewelers that are thinking about getting a laser, how much does that really take them forward?
Sure.
How is there like a it can increase revenue by this much, or your marketability just increases by a whole lot? What's that do? Having an awesome laser engraver, what's that do for a jeweler?
So there's a huge plethora, a huge gradient of jewelers, right? There's Etsy stores that are in somebody's garage or basement that they're just getting started, and then there's
I know one of those guys,
right?
Yeah.
And we had a customer come in and got a more of an entry level system, and within 2 or 3 months, and this isn't like an official testimonial or anything, they were making $2,500, $3,500 a month from just a few hundred a month.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go from that to scaling, and then you look at large brick and mortar businesses,
fine jewelry store.
Somebody that has a huge e-commerce Shopify business, you can all of a sudden you're running, the throughput is so much better, and you can have, like I said, it's kind of like an employee where you have the artwork set up, you set up your raw materials, you hit go, and you're going to make money for your business in a different realm. You don't have to sit there and like watch it. And step and repeat. You pull it off, you do something else, and whether it's the same thing over and over and over again for volume, or it's one-off pieces, when you have a firm understanding of the software, it's very fluid.
Make a lot of money.
Nice. So your primary customers are the jewelers?
So we fluctuate. I mean, we love the gun and tactical and firearm and knife guys, and that's one fun side of the business. We could do certain, skulls and all sorts of stuff on that for the designs, and then over here in the jewelry space, it's a whole different clientele, but they're creative, and that's the great thing. We're working with creative people in every realm.
Absolutely.
And when you're building custom jewelry and somebody says, I have an idea for this, and you can say like, oh, we can help you make that a reality. I want to set a gem in a fire. We have clients that are setting diamonds in gun slides. And they unbelievable. And so to answer your question a little bit more thoroughly before, how's it taking them into the future? So many people think they need a tool for what they're already doing. But when you have a tool that goes so far beyond that, you can bring in extra business that you might have thought your glass ceiling was here, and then all of a sudden it's like you could just keep doing more and more and more projects. And yeah, I mean, I think the jewelry side of the space is very refreshing. When you get a little burnt out from doing knives all day or gun slides, it's like, hey, let's do some fancy, more dainty things. And the laser engraving systems can get, I'm talking super precise, super small. We just did a 3mm ring, which is like probably a third of how wide my wedding band is. And we did, I love you more on the inside, and boom. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, along with him, being the president and founder and creating this great laser machine, Adam has a YouTube channel. He is a marketing, to me, I love his stuff. He's very motivating. He's got great tips on marketing. And so other than talking about his great product, I'm like, I really want you to give these listeners out there some tips on running their jewelry, because you're really good at digital marketing. Tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel and how that started, and because I know it's fun and crazy, and I don't know if the guys had a chance to look at it, but I told you a little bit.
Interested. Yeah, she was telling me.
No, I appreciate that. So I started a YouTube channel back in like 2009, and then fast forward to now, and it's at about 300,000 subscribers.
Nice.
Yeah, it started.
That's awesome.
I did music production for.
Did you get a plaque?
Yeah, I got the
like 100,000.
100,000. It was so crazy because that's all I obsessed about, 100,000. And then it took me like 18 months to open it up and hang it anywhere. I'm like, you just keep going when you hit it. But the YouTube channel started. I did music production at a high-ish level for about eight or 9 years.
Yeah.
And when I first started, I was doing videos showing the process of that, and I did some funny parody songs. I was trying to find my voice on YouTube, which took a while, and started doing product reviews, and started, based on my brand growing everywhere else, I'd have other producers and rappers and artists, singer-songwriters reaching out asking, hey, how do you do this? How do I grow on Instagram? How do I do this? And I got kind of, hopefully this doesn't sound bad, but I got kind of sick of answering the same question over and over again. So I'm like, let me start do YouTube videos. And then if somebody asks, hey, here's a link. Hey, I already asked that.
Perfect.
Answered that.
Love that.
And so fast forward to 2016, and I went deaf in my left ear, and I was kind of at a crossroads. I can hear a little bit now, but do I continue to pursue music production, which I loved, or pursue other things that I'm interested in? And I kind of decided to lean heavily into helping other people through these YouTube videos and some programs and stuff. So shifted over into helping people at a beginner to like intermediate stage with the YouTube stuff, and then I have a couple more advanced programs, teach them how to build a brand on the front-facing side of the music industry specifically. But we help creatives all around the world, and I've had chiropractors in my program and fitness influencers.
The type of videos you put out are how they build the brand?
Yeah, so I teach marketing psychology, I teach brand building, social media growth, how to build a content ecosystem, and then capture. We could probably talk about this for hours.
Oh my God!
We'll see you later.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I love it. I think y'all should.
No, that's awesome. I'm definitely gonna take it. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal Adam's work, and I'm like, oh, so client, listen, this is what you gotta do.
Watch the video.
And that's it.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
What did Adam say?
I think that's the joy of the jewelry industry, when you meet two like-minded people, even though you're very like-minded. The coming together for that and sharing that, and that's why you went into it, because you wanted to help people, and that's what you did this YouTube
What's been the most popular video?
Yeah, what's your most popular?
Oh, I have some older videos that have millions of views. I have a video called 1,000 Fans in 90 Days that has about 1 million views, where I essentially break down, this is how many times you post, how do you outreach, this is the cycle, bring them back in, conversion rates, and it's like a high-level overview of what that might look like for somebody as far as building an audience, and then what I call the retention path. Because if I go out on social media, as you know, and I'm getting all this attention, there's only 3 types of content. There's attraction content, nurturing content, promotional content. When you have the attraction content, it's the sexy stuff, the polished stuff, fancy cameras, editing. You bring people in, but so many people have a hollow shell. where they bring them in and then there's nothing to, it's like if you and I did billboards for a store in the mall and then people come to see us at that mall and we have 2 things on a shelf. No matter how much they like us, they're going to, there's nothing here for me. So you have to build that retention path of bringing somebody in. How do you go to a deeper level and then promote, rather than a lot of people, whether it's jewelers or any creatives, any business owners in general, they'll try to go out and spend to promote, and then there's no story, there's no soul to it, and it's just like, that's your price, okay, that's okay, but there's no story behind it. And storytelling, as you know, is such a intricate and important.
It's not compelling.
Right.
You have to compel it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so much fun when you watch somebody that is releasing new music or started an Etsy store and now 6 months, 12 months later, they have 1,000 followers, or they have X amount of traffic to TikTok or YouTube, or they're obviously their online store, or they've built up an email list of now 500 potential clients that are really digging what they're putting out there.
And you're getting the feedback from them. I mean, what's some of the nicest things you've heard, like their success? I'm sure you've heard
some of my students have gone from, like, when they come up to me, they have like 1,600 Spotify listens or streams on all their music, and then in a year or two they're up to 1 million. And then some people come and they want to make money with their music, for example, and 6 to 12 months later they're making a full-time income. And obviously there's a huge gradient based on what people's goals are, but traffic to websites and TikTok following, all that. I have a student right now, shout out to Maoli, that's Maoli, a very talented musician out of Hawaii. And he gained 100,000 followers on TikTok in the last 6 weeks. So, he's killing it.
Nice.
Shout out to Glenn and Reggie. They're awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we want Pearls of Wisdom to be kind of like the jewelry podcast thing.
Oh,
we were just
definitely.
starting out now. We're really trying to get, interesting and educating people. Would you got any advice?
So it's just about telling the stories, but then bringing people in with the hooks. I mean,
that's a good thing, because a lot of these jewelers I talk to, and they're like, we're struggling with this and that.
Sure.
What's the easiest, best tip that you can give them to tell their story?
Sure. Well, obviously, as we always promote, consistency is so important, not only for keeping top of mind with a potential customer or client, but also to refine your message. It's like when you're looking for a significant other and you go on one bad date, that doesn't mean the rest of your dates for the rest of your life are going to be bad. You need to go out and get your confidence. You need to get your presentation and your delivery a little bit more locked in. And I think a lot of people are like, well, it takes so much work to get up on TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn, for that matter. And it really doesn't take that much work.
Exactly.
You can use what you have until what you have pays for what you want, in the terms of you don't need a $5,000 camera.
I love that. Use what you have until it pays what you want.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds good.
Yeah, like that's a mantra I've been going by for a very long time, because our iPhones are super computers to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you look at the expensive cameras 10 years ago, the iPhone, or any smartphone for that matter, can do better quality content.
Exactly.
And it's always in your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
But instead, we'd rather sit around and scroll and consume rather than create. And I think that a small business trying to find their footing.
I'll put those videos on until I get that, the nice camera setup and the nice mic.
Yeah.
And then they give excuses why they're not doing it. And they just go too, they're like too heavy on why I can't do it.
Yeah. You know why? It's they're overwhelmed that they don't have the gear, and then they're overwhelmed by the gear.
Exactly.
So it's one or the other.
Exactly.
They'll be like, well, when I can afford a nice mic setup like you.
Exactly.
Guy, if I had a Rode Podcaster, whatever this is called, a Procaster, and the mic's like you, that'd be easy.
Right.
And then you give it to them. Okay, here. Well, I don't know how to use it. I haven't had time to watch the tutorials. But the thing is, I think the one thing, you have to have a North Star of what your why is.
Yeah.
And so any business that you have here, any single business here, why'd you start your business? Oh, I'm a 3rd generation jeweler. Why does your website, why does none of your social media? I don't know about that.
Exactly.
I don't have any, or if you watch any documentary, if you listen to any good podcast about somebody, for example, there's going to be that cringeworthy origin story of, oh my God, like that person didn't have any style and now they're like the biggest fashion mogul, or this person couldn't sing at all and now they're, selling out, stadiums.
You were an orphan and grew up dirt poor.
And a lot of reasons, you go back through their story and now they're successful and they say, how did you make it?
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah.
right? They
Perseverance.
keep
That's the same
going
thing.
and keep doing. They started when it was cringeworthy.
Yep.
And they got better and
Absolutely.
better and kept going and didn't stop.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
And that's awesome. That's
we'll have a lot of these jewelers will spend money on a copywriter or a
yeah,
marketing agency, PR firm to create
right.
copy or a voiceover for a commercial or for a, I mean, obviously for static images and static
Yeah.
ads.
Right.
Yeah.
But then they don't think the same way when they're posting something to Instagram or TikTok or
Yeah.
YouTube, how the message is going to land.
Wow.
A lot of times it's just robotic. Oh, I got to put something out today.
Right.
Oh, here's an engagement ring.
Yeah.
Oh, I got my new semi mounts in. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's just that okay. I just got to put something out today, and then it doesn't become authentic or
Right.
It just
So
looks
you-
like a generic post. What
Yeah.
about this new thing I've heard about? No more live selling. They're not doing Facebook live selling, but it's going to Reels. Do y'all know? I mean,
I've heard.
You're mixing
I-
a couple platforms. I mean,
oh,
but like
okay.
no, technically
Exactly. I know
Facebook
nothing.
just rolled out Reels.
Yeah.
Live
Facebook.
selling is going to be a huge thing. TikTok's going to be introducing live
Okay.
selling. Instagram has Reels and live and tools now where you're going to be able to sell live.
So, but what did Facebook do? I heard they're shutting it down. No.
I think they're integrating and merging with
Okay, that's what
Instagram,
it is.
the whole
Okay.
Meta universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I think right now it's kind of a race to the bottom of who can copy who the
Right.
best.
Mm.
And so I think that but platforms are losing their identity.
Yeah.
Facebook's trying to be more like Instagram. Instagram's trying to be like TikTok. They're all trying to, Instagram, if you remember,
Yeah.
stories wasn't a thing.
It wasn't.
And then they introduced it because of Snapchat.
Exactly.
And now Snapchat you can go
Yes.
live on and you can do,
Yeah.
so the cool thing about how these are all going to merge is the selling is going to be the same, but it has to be a different experience. So if I'm consuming on TikTok, I'm scrolling. You have to have some compelling hook in that first 2 seconds to get
Oh,
me
yeah.
to stop.
Yeah.
And I'm going to like it, but I'm not going to follow.
Yeah.
So
Right.
so
I
you-
do the same thing. Yeah.
So it's about warm traffic on TikTok. Hot
It's-
traffic is more Instagram and Facebook
Mhm.
because those people follow more. That's the user behavior.
Yeah.
And so if somebody is willing to jump on a live, they're obviously more engaged. So obviously selling, here's the thing, like even if you look into crypto space, so many people are like, oh, NFTs and
Yeah.
Bitcoin and all this different stuff. You still need traffic. You still need an audience for any of this to work.
Sure.
If my business accepted Skittles as a form of payment, I would still need people to be interested enough in my business
Yeah.
to go and buy a boatload of Skittles.
Yeah.
So it's all that traffic, and there's really only, there's like 6 ways to build a business, right? That's word of mouth, that's organic marketing, which would
Yeah.
be inbound. There's paid
Yeah,
marketing. There's affiliate or JV, a couple others that I'm
Mhm.
glossing over.
Yeah.
But people don't really build out that ecosystem. They try to find one thing or two things that are
Yeah.
kind of working. They double
Yeah.
down and then they totally ignore because it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people, a lot of these jewelry stores and jewelry e-com businesses, they're running on a 1 or 2 person team.
Right.
And they're afraid to bring people on to help. They're afraid to hire specialists. And that's fine. I get it. You
Yeah.
have to be a little bit risk adverse. Otherwise, you're just going to go
Yeah. Yeah.
into a spending spree, rack up a bunch of debt, and then fail. But I think that when you try to do everything yourself, you say, okay, I kind of have this harnessed.
Yeah.
That's intimidating. I don't know. And that's why so many people are still hesitant to shift away from Facebook into Instagram, into TikTok, into even
Yes.
Pinterest idea boards,
Oh.
because I don't know. Last 10 years, you've been telling me to build on this. Last 10 years, you've been telling me to do that.
And yeah,
Right? But the market changes.
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
I mean, things evolve, and we have to stay malleable enough to say, even though I'm not excited about this, I need to embrace it.
yes.
Because if you look at your favorite pocket of music, I don't care if it's 80s, 90s, yacht rock stuff,
Yeah.
if you look at the music now, either you love it or you hate it because it's not what it used to be.
Right.
So,
That makes
I
sense.
think you got to go with the flow and say, hey, how are consumers, taking in the marketing messages now?
Yeah.
How is that going to convert to an actual lead or a sale, hopefully, right? And it's changing. I mean,
Yeah.
we're
And-
sitting here, something we couldn't do 15 years
I
ago
know.
Exactly. Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
tech
Yep,
that
yep.
we're doing this live,
Yeah,
which is
Right, I
awesome.
know. I think it's
So-
super fun.
Wow, you just dropped a lot of really cool knowledge, right? But some people are thinking like NFTs and thinking like, what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah.
And we have some jewelers that are worrying about employees in the store and how do they they get their increase their diamond inventory, whatever.
Sure.
What is your, like, to sum it down? You have some quick tips that you think jewelers should pay attention to
In terms of
like marketing their business.
Yeah, I think that anytime you can figure out an automation tool, like, for example, later.com, not a sponsor, if you can automate your social media posts where you can create...
We would entertain sponsorships, by the way.
Yeah,
Entertain sponsorship.
yeah, definitely reach out. They're doing a great job.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. So if you use a tool like later.com, or there's Hootsuite, appy.com, to automate, now you're using an automation tool as an employee, because you can batch create a bunch of content. You could say, here's my content calendar for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to sit here on whatever day is available for you. You say, Monday I'm going to do this, and this is why I'm going to do this. Because so many people, like you said earlier, don't have the intent. It's just posting to post. And so you have content but no context. You'll have images but no deeper meaning. It's just like, I've literally seen jewelers post beautiful photos. They've either had a professional photographer take these, or they're just really good. And then they'll say, if interested, contact us.
I love that one. Makes me cringe.
DM us for info.
That makes me cringe.
Yeah, I know, because it's like, it's completely soulless.
Yeah, where did you get that?
It's like a car on the side of the road for sale. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that might work better than a commodity like jewelry.
Marketing people, that makes us cringe.
Yeah.
So automate.
Always look for efficiencies. Always look for efficiencies. If I can take all of my content and schedule it, well, now when I get on social media, I can be social rather than have to be creative.
Absolutely. I think that's the social part. It is social media, and so many jewelers businesses, not just jewelers, post stuff but aren't social.
Yeah.
And
because it's a burden for them.
Yes,
because it takes them away from the shop.
and engage with others.
Yeah.
So if you're a jeweler and you're a member of the Elks Lodge in Greensboro, number 602, and there's some discussion going on about an upcoming party, why maybe you're not posting on that?
Yeah.
Start posting on that.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can't wait for the shrimp boil next week.
Yeah.
Did you know that Smith John Jewelers is donating some beautiful, jewelry?
24 karat lobster claw crackers.
Lobster claw, I was like, crab boil. I don't know how I'm getting shrimp.
You're like, where am I going
jewelry.
here? You're just making me hungry.
Yeah. So automate. You said automate.
Yeah,
Was there any other thing?
And social.
Yeah, I think automate, but then listen to the people that are most fluid on the platform. So many jewelry store owners, for example, are old school, which is great. There's heritage there.
Yeah.
But they don't know the language of each platform.
Yeah.
They think if they go from Facebook and they go to Twitter, they go to LinkedIn, they go to Instagram, they go to TikTok, they go to Pinterest, that it's all the same.
Yeah.
Okay, boomer.
Right. Well, then here's the thing. They might have an employee. They might have a daughter, a son, a niece or nephew, somebody that they go to church with that knows the language. Like,
That's right.
Facebook, there's this many characters, or this is really what feeds the algorithm. Over on Instagram, you post that it's going to be crickets, or something you do on TikTok and you export it and you import it to Instagram the same day. Well, now if I go from Instagram to TikTok, it's the same experience.
Right.
There's like nothing to keep me wanting to circle through that stuff.
Exactly. So now you're talking about content and being social. So a lot of jewelers say, I don't have enough time.
Oh, sure.
How valuable do you think it is for them to hire a content manager, a good one?
Sure.
For their business.
If we're talking about Guy, it's very important to hire. No, but here's the thing. I think people say they don't have enough time until they realize that little bit of time could generate a lot more money.
Yeah.
Which they have a lot of time for that.
Right.
But I think that hiring a content manager or somebody that's very fluent in all the different social media realms, you have to understand we're constantly fighting for attention.
Yeah.
The attention generates currency. That's how you grow your revenue. The more attention, we're in this game of attention. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So when you spend time on social media, if you're consuming, you're wasting time.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to see what competitors are doing or whatever that looks like. But if you're creating and you're spending the time as a lead capture, lead generation, it's no different than spending a bunch of money on a billboard that you don't know if they came from the billboard.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I think that spending time on social media, hiring somebody that can spend the time if they're not And that's cool.
Yeah.
This is the time money ratio. If you don't have the money, you need the time. If you don't have the time, you need the money. If you have both, you're on a God level.
Yeah.
Right? Because you could hire somebody to do it, and you can help with all the creative and be available at all times.
Right.
But we could look at it a lot of different ways. When you're putting things out on social media, it's not just the post. It's not just to like build up a brand. It's to build a legacy, because people are always doing passive research.
Yeah.
If I have a jewelry store, the 2 jewelry stores down, but Joe Schmo is searching engagement ring Greensboro, and my Instagram pops up first, and they see all these people that I'm sharing their stories. Oh my God, I got engaged. Thanks. Whatever my shop is. Oh wow. Let me go look at research. Let me go do not research, but reviews on Google.
I'm going to go down there. Yeah, I do it personally for any product or whatever.
Especially if you're aesthetic focused and your shop looks awesome.
Sure.
Like Mefford Jewelers in Florence, Alabama. You walk in there, it's like it's a vibe. It's as the kids are saying, it's a bop. No cap. Sheesh. I don't think kids are saying sheesh anymore.
Yeah, I don't think.
That was like 6 months ago.
You know what they're saying now? That's fire.
Yeah, fire.
That's fire.
No cap.
I don't know what. That's fire.
Yeah, we have to practice.
That's a hell of fire going on out there. Hell of fire.
You're taking it too far now.
Okay, I don't know any of the
hell of fire. That's
hell of fire.
You're like creating.
You were
things.
there, and then you.
I know. I'm showing my age. Okay, boomer.
Yeah. Okay, boomer. No, but it's one of these things where passive research is so important, because that warm traffic might see your stuff 6 months later, might see your stuff again. It's not about, I think so many people think a conversion needs to happen immediately. That ad didn't work. But now when they hear your name, they're like, oh, I think I saw that somewhere. Yeah. I think somebody was talking about, you know what I mean? And it really adds up.
So tell me, I love talking about marketing, and it's great. And, I run into it all the time. Now, how is all your marketing knowledge, your YouTube channel, help Unified Laser? How have you been using that to get the word out?
Sure. So, I love marketing. I'm a big marketing nerd.
Yeah.
And anyway, we think of all these different tools and these different features that roll out as opportunities. And so when you look at how are we taking our message and matching the market, it's the message market match, right? So you take a message, you find the right market for it, and then you refine. So we have a unique experience at Unified Laser. There's a bunch of other laser manufacturers in the world that exist. We get it. Yeah. You might have a Ford truck and you love that Ford truck. Yeah. Somebody over here has a Dodge flag in his garage and is like, I'm a Dodge guy. We're not trying to get the entire market. We're trying to make people believers of the Unified brand. So people might not like our marketing, but we're trying to find that perfect person, because when you market to one, you market for all. If you have that one message that just resonates with Guy, other people like Guy are going to be like, yeah, and that's how cults start, right? That's why religion is so popular, why politics is such a hot topic. It's because if you believe in this and other people around it believe in you, then it doesn't matter if everybody believes in you. It doesn't have to be the best for a lot of people to sign up, to resonate with it.
To hit that,
So I think that when it comes to the marketing, the great thing about Unified Laser is that we'll throw stuff up against the wall. We listen to everybody that's giving us feedback and like, hey, do you do this? Hey, you should do that. How do we show that? How do we tell that story? Right? So it's all about just providing a unique experience across different platforms and really pushing the envelope in terms of, hey, I've never seen anything presented like this in a laser space. Yeah. How can we do that? Right? So it's not necessarily to compete with any other laser manufacturer, because that'd be a waste of time. Sure. It's how can we make ours the cool kids club, right? And how can we make Unified Laser a household name, with marketing that we could stand behind.
So when somebody they're going to buy a laser machine from you.
Sure.
What else can they expect beyond the machine that's going to do amazing things?
Yeah. When any of our customers call, we answer the phone.
Oh, that's a great. That's great.
Yeah, not everybody does it. Believe it or not. And that's after the sale. Like a lot of people answer the phone before the sale.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Right. And I think that at the end of the day, we're trying to build a culture around what we're doing. Nice. We have concepts and stuff that I'm not gonna. No spoiler alerts on this podcast, but we have concepts for bringing our community together, and that's why we're Unified Laser. We're trying to unify the technology with the community, with the marketplace. We're not, hoarding all these things that we have to sell after the fact and upsell, and you got this, but we didn't tell you before we cashed your check you need this and this. I think we all do.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we provide the full turnkey business in a box.
Right.
You want the laptop? You got the laptop. You want the training? Yeah, that's included too. You want these things? Absolutely.
Wow.
Because it's about being able to build up that reputation and build up that community to where when you get a bunch of people together that have bought into the unified brand, they're all happy and stoked and sharing their settings and sharing their projects. And if, for example, if you're in North Carolina and one of our clients is in Phoenix, well, if you need help, I don't know anybody out there, but I'll call this guy who has one.
Do you have a group like that?
We're building one.
Yeah,
we're building one. I mean, keep in mind, we're a startup.
Yeah,
we're not like 40 years deep or anything like that as far as like being in business, but we bring a different level of expertise. It's the vision. It's the vision.
Perfect. So you're going to be the disruptor in the industry.
I don't want to say disruptor. That sounds a little bit combative, but we will be the innovator.
Innovator.
We will.
Innovator.
It's the concept of the leader doesn't have to pull. People follow the lead.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at social media. We're talking about it for however many minutes now. You're building a following. But how are you building a following if you're not the leader? Who are they following? So that's really our mantra and our mission statement is being able to.
We're going to borrow that.
Can we borrow that?
Yeah, as long as I get a commission on every single one. Yeah, you got to give me a couple points on that one. But we believe in kind of running wild, and we say this might crash and burn. This idea for example, this idea might take off. We're not so bullheaded that we don't listen to ideas,
Sure.
and I have a lot of great creative people around me from other industries, and
That's what it's about.
it's all about that. And I think that
I do digital marketing, but I want a laser now. What the hell?
hey, we'll give you a great deal.
Have you been down there yet? I don't know if you have.
You need to come check out our booth
Go
for
down
sure.
to the booth.
Listen, I'm going to
yeah.
laser your website. I don't know what the hell.
Go get that domain name, laseryourwebsite.com.
I got it.
No, but the thing I always believe in, even with small business owners that buy from us, it's you have this vision of what could be, and that can absolutely happen. You just have to put one foot in front of the other because the time just has to catch up with the vision.
Right.
I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, but I know I'm going to get there.
Man, the one-liners, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
I told you that's why he is. We need to get him back on again too. I always say that, but there's certain guests that really I think our listeners and followers would be interested in. You've got it. I think he could.
Thank you.
We could do a dozen of these, and they'll still learn more. And more.
I will be the.
And we're having a good time doing it.
So I could be the third fill-in host.
Oh shit, he wasn't available. So
Hey, I'm back.
Adam, you're on standby.
Guy's gonna be back eventually. No, but one thing I tell a lot of my students and people that reach out to me from YouTube is like so many people, including business owners, probably a few that's are here now that started eventually or early on. You're intimidated by trying to figure out how many jelly beans will fit into this huge ass jar.
Yeah.
When you just need to put one in at a time, and eventually it'll fill up. And that's the steps. That's the consistency. Because just by going after it and not quitting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's statistics out there until you're blue in the face of how many businesses fail in the first 5 years. But if you never go into it thinking you're going to be long term, you'll never even get to be a statistic.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good.
Wow. I don't think we need any more podcasts.
It's done.
That's it. We're just gonna replay this as a new version. You just call it as a new title, and then
this is the Pearls of Wisdom podcast.
We're gonna change the whole intro and everything.
Yeah, we got. I like
that. It's been a great time.
Thank you so much.
How do people? Where do people find you? Reach out.
Yeah.
Where do they send you money?
Yes, we don't collect payments online at Unified Laser. But if you're interested in learning more about our systems, for example, before I go personal, unifiedlaser.com, @Unified on TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff, Unified Laser. And then if you want to find me personally, it's @Adam Ivy, ADAMIVY. You can find my YouTube channel. You can find, if you go to musicmarketing.com, you can find my YouTube channel.
What was that marketing? Media?
Musicmarketing.com.
Musicmarketing.com.
Yeah, so
you can also check out Unified Laser trade show wise.
Yeah, you
to
can come
Atlanta jewelry shows.
Yeah, we do the Atlanta jewelry shows, which are some of our favorite.
Yeah.
And you know, to become a familiar face, you have to visit us at least once. So let's get it started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you go to other shows as well?
Yeah, we go to JCK, and
Yes.
we're looking at others. SHOT Show, for example.
Got it.
We're trying to be everywhere that our people are, but it's only a finite amount of time. We all have 24 hours in a day, so you got to kind of pick and choose.
Wait, you got 24?
Last time I checked, sometimes it feels like about
Yeah.
5.
It does look.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
It's been fun, and thank you
Yeah.
so much. We
No, I appreciate the
certainly enjoy
opportunity.
it.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no, this is great. It was definitely awesome. Let's do it again tomorrow. No.
Yes, anytime.
No, perfect. Look for Adam, look for Unified Laser, and look for Southern Jewelry and Mid-America Jewelry News.
That's right. Monthly and online.
Some of the best publications, bar none,
Thank
in
you.
the industry.
Thank you.
They're beautiful. They're well written. They're distributed. A+ all day. If you're not yet, make sure to sign up. They have attractive subscription models.
Again, a commission.
Depending on where
Absolutely.
you're finding this, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to leave a 5-star review.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I love it. Thank you, Adam.
Of course.
This
It's been
was
great
awesome.
being here. It's been a lot of fun,
Thanks a
guys.
lot.
Cheers, guys.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. Oh. All right. Thanks a lot.
Peace out.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. For more information about the show, please visit southernjewelrynews.com/podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you can catch the next show. See you then.